Hello everyone, welcome back to another Train Sim World 6 video. Today we are on foot at Chatham Station on the Chatham Mainline on Firefly Simulation's Medway Valley Line route, and you know what that means. Since Chatham is the home of Dovetail Games, it's time for another Train Sim World rant video. I haven't got any notes for this video because I just, really wanted to speak from the heart about where this game is currently standing and where it's going. This was inspired by DC 4260 Productions video after he did his Birmingham to Crewe route review. And yeah, I just... Train Sim World, since my last rant video on this game, just seems to have gone, if anything, even more downhill. Oh, there goes the Javelin. Just watch the Javelin leave. Okay. Yeah, so where to start? First of all, Dovetail Games has noticeably gone downhill. They have, most noticeably with bug fixes, where they have not been bug fixing their own content with a few minor exceptions, like for example the recent New York to Stamford patch, which finally fixed the alerter and access safety system bugs that the M8 had at launch, which was driving everyone a bit insane, and it should never have been shipped in that condition. Dovetail's, with a few minor exceptions, Dovetail seems to not be bug fixing their own content. With some cases, they have been leaving bugs on routes for years. For example, Cajon Pass, a route released in September 2022, still doesn't have speed limits on the track monitor, which is the bit at the HUD at the top right which shows like upcoming speed limits and stations. To take another example, a bunch of bugs with a lot of their old stuff in Train Simulator Classic. There are bugs still standing on routes from Train Simulator 2013. Well, which are still present in Train Simulator Classic to this very day. And then to cap it all off, they're also, for some reason, holding up bug fixes for third-party developers. For example, the Direct Rail Services Class 20, as part of Cargo Line Volume 5, shipped with a ton of bugs at launch, and those didn't get fixed until there goes the 375, until a bug fix, how long was it ago? Like a month ago? So it had those bugs for like 5 months, and Dovetail held up the patch that Skyhook had. Ooh, there's a Thameslink 700 coming in. Very nice. And it's ridiculous. And then precisely zero progress has been made in tackling the problem of console blurriness, blurry textures on consoles, and also on fixing the problems that specifically PlayStation 5 players have, where basically if you have too many add-ons installed, if the PlayStation tries to draw on more than 60 gigabytes of DLC, then a bunch of layers just do not show up on routes, and that's a PlayStation 5 specific issue. Precisely zero progress has been made on this issue. Mind you, routes released since optimization, like Medway Valley, which is this route for instance, are much less bad on the blurry textures front, but older routes that released with blurry textures, like WCML Birmingham to Crewe, still don't have those issues fixed, and it is unacceptable that console players are being shafted in this way. And I'm saying this as a PC player. 80% or so can't remember where I heard that number. I think I heard it from Train Simulator Driver, actually, back when I was still watching him. 80% of all players are on consoles, and if you're shafting your customer base to that extent, where 80% of your customer base is struggling with an issue that you have not bothered to fix, is completely unacceptable. Wait a minute. I turned the HUD off, and now the clock has reappeared at the bottom. That's another bug that I wasn't thinking about, but it miraculously popped into view, so now I get to talk about it. The HUD, sometimes if you press the F1 key on the keyboard, sometimes it just won't go. Like, specifically, it's this specific compass and clock that just will not disappear. And it's really annoying. Anyway, yeah. And then the NPC bugs. The passenger system in this game is completely broken. Completely. They need to throw it all out and start from scratch. Genuinely. The passengers in this game are completely broken. They will either not appear, and then sometimes appear in clusters. They fall onto the tracks. They fall out of the sky in between stations. It's nuts. It's genuinely insane. And am I a developer in Unreal Engine? No. But even I can see that the half-arsed NPCs in this game are completely unacceptable. Anyway, what else was I going to talk about? I already talked about holding up bug fixes for even third parties and then not bug fixing their own stuff, which is pretty insane. Then also, I'd like to talk about Steam specifically. Trainsim Germany are busy working on the Neckartalbahn, Heidelberg to Neckarels route, which is going to be set in 1974 and have a German steam locomotive, namely the Deutsche Bundesbahn BR42, not 42, 23. 42 is the number of the locomotive that TSG went on to record real life sounds. They actually got to do a real life sound recording trip, which is pretty cool. Anyway, TSG found some insane stuff while they were looking through the Steam locomotion files to try to fix them for the BR23. For example, and this is one example among many, by the way, in the 4 steamers that are currently in the game, the Fowler 4F, the Stanier 8F, the Jubilee, and Flying Scotsman, water draw from the tender is 1,000 times slower than it should be. Let me just repeat that. 1,000 times slower, there's a 700, than it should be because of a unit conversion error that Dovetail never bothered to fix. TSG, I believe it was in the last roadmap article for, I think it was May 2026, if you want to go have a look at it. TSG did a really detailed background breakdown on how they are fixing the steam physics for the BR23, and I must say they are doing quite a good job, and yeah. So, yeah, basically, you might be sitting in your chair thinking, oh, he's just going to continue playing the game as before, and he's not going to actually act on what he's saying. Oh, I am going to act on what I'm saying. As of this moment, I am no longer going to play Train Sim World as much as I did before. I'm still going to play Train Sim World. I have well over 1,000 hours in this game and 103 DLCs that I've purchased for this game. I'm not just going to abandon it. Yeah. I'm only going to buy 2 more DLCs at launch. Namely, the Tadami line by Union Workshop and the Thames Valley branches by Johannes Hartmann. Tadami, because, well, it's a Japanese route. As a person who's lived in Japan for 12 years, obviously I have a deep personal connection to Japan, of course, and the rolling stock included with the Tadami is going to be the Kiha 40, which I've seen in real life and have footage of. So if you go back to around the new year. I think it was in late December 2025. I actually went out and filmed Kiha 40s in real life. And I have a standing engagement with one TB76 Returns to do a Tadami review with him, which will be very nice. Secondly, I'm getting the Thames Valley branches because I have a lot of real life experience with specifically the Marlow branch of which is going to be included with the route. Like, genuinely, I've probably ridden on that line more than any other route in the UK, and I just love it. It's a cute little branch line, and Johannes Hartmann is actually going to be simulating the real life token system that the route does still use in real life, which is pretty cool. Yeah, but other than that, I'm not getting any more DLCs. I just purchased after today, I just purchased the Avanti Class 805 by All Aboard Studios for West Coast Mainline South. And I'm going to make a few videos with that, because I think it's genuinely a decent add-on. But after that, I'm not going to be buying any more Train Sim World DLCs until either, one, Dovetail gets its act together, which I expect them to never, ever, ever do in a million years, because Dovetail has been bad for 1.5 decades. I'm not expecting them to reform overnight. I expect them to continue in their cash-grabby, grubby, downright corrupt ways until the end of time, which is really, really annoying, because I love Train Sim World, and to have Dovetail ruining this game and putting it on the downhill stretch toward financial collapse is completely insane. And yeah. So expect to see Tadami and Thames Valley content when those come out. Otherwise, I'll just be making a bunch of content on the older stuff. Like, mind you, there's a bunch of routes in this game that I absolutely enjoy the heck out of. You've been seeing a lot of Medway on the channel recently. There's also been, I want to play a bit more of Liberec Stara Paka, which is the Czech route. The Expert 145 by TSG obviously needs a bit more. I want to do a bit more with that, because there's a lot of gameplay potential with that thing. And then, yeah, a bunch of the older stuff that I have that I got a longer time ago, and of course the Class 805. But yeah, it's just a shame, because I was really looking forward to some of the content coming, like Crew Preston by Just Trains, and also Cumbrian Coast by JT, the aforementioned Neckartalbahn by Trains of Germany, and to a lesser extent WCML Trent Valley by All Aboard Studios. But yeah, I just cannot continue to support a development studio which is causing this amount of havoc and greedily cash grabbing to this extent, and then not fixing bugs and deliberately holding back bug fixes for third-party developers, which is just insane. You will start to see other games on the channel, other train simulators which I haven't played for a bit. Specifically, Diesel Rail Car Simulator by LKW-Walter, which has just gotten an absolutely gigantic update, including being a guard in a brake van, which is pretty cool, for freight trains. Then also, there's a 465 coming in, and then there's also Himsim Metro, HMMSIM Metro, which is by a South Korean development company and the game is Unreal Engine 5 and based on line 1 of the Seoul Metro in South Korea, which is a very good game. I've got a decent few hours in it, and I personally think it's a great game, if a bit limited in terms of gameplay, because you've only got basically one line with a couple of branches to deal with. But yeah, as I said, great game. They just the development team for that game recently just added animated NPCs, and you can also walk around outside of the train now, which is also pretty cool. It's been getting a decent few updates as well. And finally, there is one game that I am really excited for. Running Train by Novatetsu Games is releasing on the 25th of May on Steam, and if you've seen the Train Sim Society video on it, it's a Unreal Engine 5 Japanese train simulator. Now that sounds pretty tempting on the face of it, because we don't have any Unreal Engine 5 Japanese train simulators. If you have a look at the preview footage for Running Train, it looks absolutely bonkers. It looks better than real life. How? And it's done by Novatetsu Games, is a solo developer, and has managed to pull off a game that looks miles better than Train Sim World. I don't know how that's even possible. It looks absolutely amazing. Obviously, I will be picking it up day one at full price to give it a try. See what I mean about the NPCs in this game being completely broken? That was perfect timing, by the way. Anyway, Running Train is going to have like multiple electric commuter trains, fully functional automatic train stop system, and they're also going to have a diesel express train, which I can't remember the exact type designation. Let's actually just watch this Class 465 depart real quick. There we go. There's another borked NPC over there. There we but what I was going to say was the diesel express train that's going to come with the first early access version of Running Train. There's another 465. The diesel express train that's going to come with it is one that is run on one of my local lines until not too long ago, and I've ridden on its successor. I can't remember the exact type designation, but it has a big panoramic window on the front. Is probably the best description that I can give to it. Which has run on the Takayama line, which is one of my, as I said, one of my local lines until not too long ago. Which is bonkers that is coming into a train simulator of this caliber. So you can probably understand my sheer levels of excitement. But yeah. Also, Train Sim World won't be going anywhere. I'll probably whittle it down to 1 to 2 videos a week. I'll still be playing it because I like this game. And I really love some of the routes in this game, like genuinely. Like Medway, Great Western Express Remastered, Preston Carlisle, and even some Dovetail products like Zvola, Groningen, and Riviera Line are genuinely decent. But yeah, I just can't ignore the game's Dovetail caused decline. And yeah, that is why I refuse to. With 2 exceptions, that is why I refuse to support Dovetail Games as a developer any longer. Also, if you're as one final note, I managed to actually get my computer fixed. My computer's new Wi-Fi chip arrived 5 days early. I just installed it this afternoon as I'm recording this, and oh my goodness, my computer is running so much better now that it has a new Wi-Fi chip. And yeah, that'll be all for this video. I know it was a bit of a rant, and if you like Train Sim World and want to continue supporting the developers, that's fine by me. But you all have to be civil to one another in the comments. Everyone can voice their opinions, but they have to be civil. Anyone who gets insulting or personally insulting will get banned. Genuinely. I will just ban you, and I will not look back. And you will remain permanently banned on this channel if you are not civil to one another in the comments. And yeah. Other than that, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. And I will see you in the next video, which I don't know what that's going to be, if I'm being honest. And also, one final thing. The Euro Truck Simulator and my summer and my winter car streams are going absolutely nowhere. They will stay on the weekends because I just enjoy playing them. And anyone who doesn't like those, no, I'm not going to say that. I'm trying to be civil and respectful here. Can't say that. So that'll be all from me today. Thank you all so much for watching. Please do like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. And I will see you all in the next one. And please do also, I do need to plug the channel memberships. If you do want to go the extra mile towards supporting me, please do become a channel member, or just send a super chat for any amount of money. Just send a super chat, like even if it's like 10 cents. The gesture is much appreciated. And I will see you on the next video, everyone, and goodbye.